Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the 2025 KungFu Cup 6 Warcraft 3 Evolution Edition. I'm of course XiaoSe VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to another edition of said KungFu Cup. For those that are just now tuning in, for those that maybe haven't seen this event before, the KungFu Cup is an event organized by SC Boy, by the Chinese scene, the Chinese community, and typically, traditionally, this has been a weekly seasonal event that does actually correspond with WTL. World Team League used to be running on a seasonal basis, and we would have these weekly open tournaments, the KungFu Cup, to actually supplement and to provide extra WTL points. Now that WTL is on an indefinite hiatus, though, we do have something different, a new form of KungFu Cup instead, this time unchained, unbound by the chains of the WTL, and instead a bit of a chaotic format. Basically, it is a weekly tournament, but every week they alternate between StarCraft Evolution and Warcraft 3 Evolution. So last week we did feature the StarCraft Evolution edition. This is Warcraft 3 Evolution instead. If you're curious, hold up. Warcraft 3 Evolution, what's going on, Pappy? What's happening? What does that even mean? Well, there is another mod, not the StarCraft Evolution mod, but there's a separate mod called the Warcraft 3 Evolution mod, which does a similar thing, where it kind of blends together Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. But not just Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2, it also blends together Brood War as well. They take an extra step. Personally, I'm not too fond of the idea of adding that extra step, but they go for it as well. So there are 3 potential modes of play that you can actually indulge in: Warcraft 3, Brood War, and SC2 as well. Oh boy. So yeah, it's even more chaotic, even more wild. Likewise, it has its own balance, it has its own adjustments. I believe the Brood War version that is played in this mod, though, is not the same as the Brood War version in StarCraft Evolution. It is different. I believe it is a little bit closer to the numbers in Brood War. It is more of a direct port, whereas in StarCraft Evolution it has been adjusted for balance purposes. Here in Warcraft 3 Evolution, it's a lot more focused. The balance, I should say, is a lot more focused on the Warcraft 3 side of things, and they've kind of left Brood War more or less alone, more so than anything else. Oh boy. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be wild. It's always exciting to jump into this, and it's always exciting to see the hero units as well, of course featured with the Warcraft 3 mod. And yeah, we're about to jump into our first series here. We're jumping into the round 16, just catching up in the chat as well. I do see Aistan, I see Psycons as well. Estehon Mono, ay. Bane Damage, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos one and all. Does Hyper One know this command? Funada Hyper One, Funada. The mod gets updated regularly. The evolution mod evolves. Exactly. There you go, Bobby. There you go. But here we go. We have our first series, have our first matchup. Up first in the round 16, we have RotterdaM versus XiaoSe. Again, big shout out to RotterdaM. He has been recently indulging and casting Warcraft 3 Evolution. The reasoning for this, as you can imagine, is that RotterdaM, he used to be a Warcraft 3 competitor. Used to be a competitor back in the day before he started casting. He was a pro player in Warcraft 3. He was old mate Little Kev. Or I think that was Hearthstone. They were both Kevs. Not confusing at all. But yes, he used to be a competitor back in the day. Of course, did transition to a caster in StarCraft 2 after playing and competing in StarCraft 2 as well, and now has been jumping into Warcraft 3 Evolution. I don't know what he's going to be looking like. I've never seen him play this mod, so we're going to find out. We're going to find out together here. Evolution complete, almost. Sinistro. Papi, yeah. Good to see you, Papi. Good to see you, as always. Yo, are you gonna be a part of the offline events? There is an offline event happening in Brazil soon to end that I know Cosmos has been hard at work at. It'll be cool to see if yourself and maybe Icegar as well can be a part of that. I know that Cosmos has been hard at work, very hard at work, trying to bring that offline event together. It'll be happening in a couple of months. Couple of months. Oh, exciting stuff. Depends on the workload, but I might be able to join. Oh, let's go. exciting to hear. As we're jumping to game one is going to be on Abyssal Reef. We go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Abyssal Reef, we have the Orange Protoss player, the Orange Protoss himself, representing Team Basilisk from the land of the Netherlands. It is RotterdaM. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the... Oh, actually, I need to move some stuff around. The UI is a little bit messy whenever we cast this mod. There we go. That's a little bit better. In the top left-hand corner, we have the Chinese, typically a Zerg player, but here he's the human, the blue human player. It is XiaoSe. Here we go, as we are going to be jumping into our first series of the night. And again, we do have SC2 versus Warcraft 3 in our initial best of 3. And we'll be getting to the format after this game. For now, though, we do see a lot of popularity when it comes to the human race. I'll be honest, out of all the races, I don't think we've ever casted an orc player. Oh, let's go. It's his first. I was hoping that RotterdaM was a little bit practiced, and I was hoping that he had a couple of games under his belt. But apparently it's his first game ever here. XiaoSe, he's lying to him, by the way. XiaoSe, he has a lot of experience in this world, a lot more, I should say. Of course, there are potato memes. Let's go. Of course, XiaoSe, being a caster, hey, it's a caster showdown. I just realized we have our English caster on the right and we have our Chinese caster on the left. XiaoSe, of course, he does represent SC Boy. And again, the human race has been very popular. I would say we've seen it more than any other. Outside of humans, we have seen a decent amount of Night Elf. We have never seen any orcs, and we've seen undead like a couple of times as well. So unfortunately, no, I have heard that currently in the balance of Warcraft 3 Evolution mod, Orc is underpowered, or it's just not as strong as the other races. So yeah, we just haven't ever been able to see any Orc yet, but I'm sure we will eventually. But now though, we are going to be opening up. Another important thing to note, as we do have a standard opener out of RotterdaM. He does go for the Gate Cyber Expand, so standard opener out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, you can see here that there are a bunch of creeps on the map. We do have some gnolls here towards the top side. We have some merchant shops as well to get into some heroes, to get into zeppelins, to get into scans. We have some mercenary camps where you can also purchase units. You can actually buy an early hero. There is a build that we saw from Liu in this mod where you can actually rush into the early tavern here in the center and actually buy an early was it Beastmaster? Yeah, an early Beastmaster. You can open up with Rexar here, for example. So there are some builds where you can try to rush into a neutral hero, for example. But here we do have XiaoSe opening up with the initial Archmage. Here we go. Archmage. So here we're just going to be camping some creeps, or we're going to be creeping. I think that's the better terminology here, to get some resources, minerals, gas, so of course level up the hero early on. The hero is a big part of the Warcraft 3 side of things. The hero is like a one-man army, essentially. We have seen heroes dominate these fights against SC2 armies. What I will say is that because of the strength of the heroes, and because of the strength of Protoss units, we have seen in this mod Protoss be the strongest SC2 race. The reasoning for this is because a lot of the Zerg units, a lot of the Terran units are very fragile, very low HP, and often get one shot. Like, mate, when we get these AoE abilities like Thunderclaps or Frost Novas or Firestorms, for example, they put Storm to shame. They completely just shut down bio armies and link based armies. But against like Blinkstalker Immortal or Colossus Robo based units instead, the Protoss army has a lot more durability, at least from what we've seen. Meanwhile, we do see RotterdaM poking in, trying to apply pressure here to the main hero units while we're creeping. A couple of items are being collected here. Already we have a full set. So they're building up. You can see a ward's going to be thrown down here for some vision. Another thing I should mention as well is that these creep camps have replaced bases. So you can see there are no bases towards the left, no bases here in the center. I mean, we do see XiaoSe pushing up the ramp. Shield batteries are ready. Yeah, 2 shield batteries so far. Nice lifts here on the initial footman. Yeah, they slow down the army. And with that, looks like, yeah, RotterdaM, he'll hold. He will hold on. The shield batteries that come into play. He does focus on the first footman. And oh, can he get it? Oh, barely not. Barely not. And XiaoSe will back off. Now, as you saw, when it comes to the units here from Warcraft 3, I should reiterate, the bases are gone. There's no third base here. There's no third base, there's no fourth base, there's no fifth base. But the economy is very different for Warcraft 3 because of the upkeep system. You actually get penalized for having a larger army. You get penalized for having a larger army. So typically Warcraft 3 armies are smaller, so Warcraft 3 economies don't need to be as large. Like, you can get away with 2 bases for a long time in Warcraft 3, or at least in the Warcraft 3 Evolution mod. And to compensate for that, because armies are going to be smaller, units are so durable. I mean, you can see that these 2 footmen, they still survive throughout the game. They're quite tanky, quite powerful in their own right, and yeah, that goes for all Warcraft 3 units here, is that they're all much more robust, they all do more damage, they're all very healthy, very tanky. Takes a little more to bring them down. The Protoss side of things, they'll have a larger army, they'll have a more of a swarm style composition. It's going to be the opposing team, it's going to be the Warcraft 3 army here that's going to be a little bit more lean and a little bit more finesse, I guess, to it as well. A lot of micro potential, a lot more finesse. Meanwhile, Phoenixes do poke in, they get a couple of worker kills here and there, nothing too major. So far, XiaoSe just building up back at home, securing himself, throwing down turrets, throwing down his arcane towers. I should emphasize, you know, again, it was a Stargate opener out of RotterdaM, so he has gained map control, he's containing his opponent, and taking his own 3rd base. So RotterdaM is getting into his expansions here, still focusing on purely, I was going to say purely Skytoss, is still pumping out nothing but Phoenixes, don't get me wrong. And does manage to get a worker here and there. Peasant, if you will. But from here, we're switching into charge lots. So it's going to be Phoenixes into charge lots. We have double forge on the way, double upgrades for RotterdaM. He's building up here on these 2 bases. And because these Phoenixes, he's keeping the Archmage pinned back at home. So it does mean that there's no creeping going on right now. Ideally, you want to be out here, you want to be trying to hunt down and trying to face off against these centaurs or any other gnolls and kind of gain more items, gain more resources, level up your hero. But right now, we do see XiaoSe is contained. He is contained. Another peasant goes down. He gets 1. He gets 2. So 2 more peasants. Again, the arcane towers are still not done. This is still being worked upon. Oh. As the Archmage does move out, I believe. Oh god, actually can get picked up. Has to be careful. Does pull away. Meanwhile, we have our 2nd hero on the way. Yo, my favorite hero of the Warcraft Evolution mod is, of course, the Mountain King. So Mountain King was on the way. If you're familiar with the story, that is Myrddin. So Myrddin, Mountain King. Especially against the other races, is insanely powerful. It's crazy. Against Protoss, maybe less so. Has some crowd control abilities, don't get me wrong. There we go. The guard towers are now done. So far, XiaoSe, he does secure himself. Likewise, we do see RotterdaM getting into his 4th expansion. So getting into a 4-base economy. Building up a decent chunk of charge lots. So far, looking solid. Now, this is where the Mountain King comes into play. Now, you may look at this army and may be thinking, oh my god, Roddy, he's at 150 supply, you know, he's got a massive army. That is true. These zealots mean nothing in the face of a Mountain King, mate. Let me tell you. Yo, this bad boy right here. Yeah, we do see he does resource Thunderclap. Thunderclap is an insane AoE, and mate, he can make short work of this zealot army. So I'm a little bit concerned here for RotterdaM. The Archmage did just get into water elementals, so can summon minions, of course, and the Mountain King is ready to jump in. Roddy doesn't quite commit, not yet. Still parked outside the base. Behind us, working towards Colossus. I'm less excited about Colossus as a way to supplement this army. I think MaxPax has been playing a lot of this mod as well, and did find a lot more success with Immortals. As we mentioned before, like the army size here is going to be quite small for the Warcraft 3 player, so that like high impact single target DPS is a little bit more ideal, like the Immortal and what that brings to the table. The Colossus less so. The Colossus is going to be tickling this army. But he is making 3 at a time. As Phoenixes, once again, they dive in. They get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 workers. Very nice damage. Once again, XiaoSe being dragged back into his main. All the riflemen are out. Ooh. Takes down one of the Phoenixes. I'll be knee deep in WC. I'm running 3 games this year. Oh my god, that's... Take care, Pappy, take care. I mean, good to hear that you have a lot of work to do. So take care, Sinistro. Hope you're able to get plenty of rest, and I look forward to seeing the production, of course. But now though, do you see RotterdaM going to be reinforcing? Behind this, working towards Sky Toss. Okay. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Sky Toss would be ideal, but we'll see if he can get there. Now, what's scary is that this entire time, XiaoSe has been stuck on 2 bases, but remember, XiaoSe, he has I mean, he doesn't need a third. He doesn't need a greater economy, I should say. Like, this army from XiaoSe is building up. Building up quite hard. We do see RotterdaM does commit into the mineral line, into the natural. First tower goes down. XiaoSe, he has to respond. There's going to be 3 Colossus here for RotterdaM. XiaoSe pushing forward. You can see the Mount King trying to make its way towards our Zealots. Show us the clap. Oh, so far, dust on the first wave of Zealots, and we should be able to have another clap soon. Does he get it? He does. He does get off just barely towards the end. Colossus are going to be forced back. The Riflemen, they do get quite a bit of damage down, but it looks like, yeah, the Zealots are overwhelming. They overwhelm the initial minion, and they're getting on top of that last hero. Oof. Colossus does fall. Again, just the one Archmage left. He's getting locked down. Archmage does fall, and GG gets called. RotterdaM, he will break the natural base, and he will break the natural and take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. He was able to break through. Thankfully, he was able to catch XiaoSe out of position. As a reminder, XiaoSe, he was over towards the left-hand side. Oh, he was over trying to creep, trying to break through on the left-hand side, and trying to creep. Creep is probably the best word of using. But he wasn't at his natural base. He was left exposed. GG. GG, well played. RotterdaM does break through, and that leads us into game 2. Let's go. Let us go. As we're going into Ultra Love. And spawning in the... Oh, for the first time! Okay, I see you. Let's go. For the first time spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Warcraft 3 Orc player. Oh, Yaku's gonna be so sad. We have the Warcraft 3 Orc player himself. I mean, I believe he did main Orc back in the day. For Basilisk, it is RotterdaM. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Terran player. We have the red Terran himself, the Chinese player. Ooh, I believe rocking Brood War Terran. It is XiaoSe. Here we go. As we are settling into game number 2. And yeah, I'm excited to see how the Brood War Terran works here. Again, it is very different to what we've experienced in StarCraft Evolution. For now, going to be setting up here with a low ground Warlock. Meanwhile, RotterdaM back across the map, going to be opening up himself with the initial Farseer. Okay. Again, I've never seen, I'm excited. I've never seen Orc here in Warcraft 3 Evolution. This is the very first time we're seeing it here. And I'm curious if we're going to find out why we rarely see it. We'll see. We shall see. For now, when we load into Ultra Love, we do have our natural base. Our natural here, there is of course a creep camp just at the natural. The third base has been replaced by a Goblin Merchant. Likewise, the linear third base has been replaced by a Goblin Laboratory as well. As always, in the center there is a tavern. Oh, it's in the void. Let's go. But there's the tavern in the center of the map. Of course, do love to see that it's covered by the void itself. And in general, if RotterdaM were to take another expansion here, it would be a little bit more difficult. It's here over on the right hand side. These will be the closest bases to him over towards the right hand side of the map. So we are opening up. Meanwhile, XiaoSe back at home does go for the racks expand. We do have our initial marine production underway, and we'll see if we head towards like a 3 racks timing with stim, if we work towards mech instead as a mech based composition, into vulture production. XiaoSe does have options. So there we go, factory has been thrown down. Now, the way this format works, I should emphasize, is the Farseer has arrived at... Oh, we did end up researching Feral Spirits. Once again, a team of minions to help clear all these creeps. What I should mention here when it comes to the format of the tournament, because RotterdaM, I should say this is, I believe, called the Conquest format. Let me just double check. Is it Conquest? But yeah, it's called something like that. So basically a Conquest format, Conquerors, that's it, Conquerors format, is when you win with one of your races, you cannot use it again. So RotterdaM, he just won the first game with Protoss, right? He just won with SC2 Protoss, which means he can no longer use SC2 in this series. He's going to be forced to play Brood War or Warcraft 3 for the rest of this best of 3. Just as a heads up, as Roddy does move out. Oh. Poking out the front door. So far, XiaoSe is in position, has his bunker done, getting into his own tank production here. Not vultures, researching and prioritizing siege mode more than anything. Interesting. Ooh, and getting into a second factory. It is, in fact, going to be mech. So we have a mech here out of XiaoSe. Likewise, back at home. RotterdaM does recognize he won't be able to break this position, won't be able to break this bunker line, so we'll back off. We'll back off, we'll retreat. Catching out some of the Draenei. As a reminder, these are what the original Draenei used to look before they got revamped in Burning Crusade. They have a very different look to them. Oh. Roddy does expand, taking his own natural. He's buying, selling, building up his boy, building up Cold Eye. That's a nice little kind of like flavor text here as well. Whenever you spawn in a hero, it does spawn in with a unique name or with a randomized name. It's a fun little quirk. Meanwhile, we do have siege mode complete. We're getting into spider mines. We have ion thrusters on the way as well for XiaoSe, getting into more factories. Through a TC as well, and moving out with said vultures. Oh. Yeah, Spider-Man's being set out. Ideally wants to bait the army into the spider mines. Up! Ready! No! Takes the bait! Oh my god. Spider-Mans do go up. They do tickle the orcs, but more mines will connect. These vultures, they kite back. Once again, emphasizing just how tanky this army can be, but it's all melee based. Melee-based army, outside of course, the Farseer. XiaoSe does pull away, doesn't have any spider mines left. As a reminder, spider mines are charge-based, but additional vultures have arrived. You can set up more mines. Okay, just setting up his mines, moving forward. We won't be able to delay the expansion. Unless we do see Roddy able to break out. So once again, Tank does take the spider bites to the face. Oh my god! No, he's being dragged in! Yeah, dragged into the minefield. He has to get the hell out of here. His army getting very low once again. So let's have to pull back. Buying an item. Buying a salve. Okay. Yeah, you can see here, trying to heal up. Likewise is contained. Behind this, we do have XiaoSe just getting his third base up and running, fully operational. It's building it up. So far, just building up his third. Getting it saturated, likewise committing here to massive vulture tank. Once again, similarly how we mentioned that Protoss would be favored against, or is a little bit more favored against Warcraft 3 based armies, I would say and lean towards mech as well, also having a better standing. As without getting into 1-1 upgrades. Starport's on the way, still just rallying mass vulture, Jesus. a couple of tanks are sprinkled in, a couple of tanks. But mainly just mass vulture. And RotterdaM, he's contained, he cannot move out. Not into this kind of minefield, it's just not going to happen. And there's no easy way to bait out these spider mines. Yeah, vultures are looking to overwhelm. Once again, baiting the army in. More spider mines popping off. Oh my god, the chain lightning! And chain lightning does come into play. Oh my god, the vultures, they get shut down. First tank is going to fall, trying to force some friendly fire. But Elastic runs, they all do fall. Very nice friendly fire there. But last we're down to one Farseer. Does set off another chain lightning. God, everything's just flaming. Jesus. The last XiaoSe, he is moving in. Oh, running into the towers though. Yeah, watchtowers, they hold the line. Tanks though, they're getting within range. Yeah, boys are being pulled to repair. But RotterdaM, he has no more army. He's down to just a single Farseer. That's all he has left, papi. Aye, aye, aye. Yo, let's go. We got a Demolisher. We got a Catapult. Or Ballista. A bit of both. Yeah, trying to focus on that tank. Tank does survive. And our last XiaoSe still maintains his position. Going for the towers. Like there's Mass Vulture still rallying in. Breaking through that front line. So far, I mean, the repairs are pretty insane. These buildings are so tanky, but finally the first building goes down. Oh my god. And the minefield has been set. Speaking of, no. More spider mines going up. You can see RotterdaM trying to bait out the spider mines with those, or with the minions. With the familiars. Oh no! But the Farseer goes down, and things are looking dire here for RotterdaM as the tank line is just encroaching upon the natural. Pushing further in. Again, he's down to just 2 more Demolishers. And they do trade relatively well here, but alas, the tanks are still looking strong. There's still, what, 6 tanks here on the low ground. 2 more here towards the left-hand side. And RotterdaM, he's down to nothing. There's nothing left. Oh, behind this, let's go. Taking up to Wind Riders. Has been trying to build up. Trying to. But again, he has to wait for the Farseer. He has to wait for his hero to be rebuilt. And XiaoSe, he's moving in. I only played StarCraft at N64. Oh no. As we do see the Wind Riders, they will be able to take down some of these tanks. First 2 tanks going down. I love the sound effect. It like, hold on. Can you hear it? You can hear the spears clang off the metal. God damn it. The clangs are real. Let's go. I mean, hey, they do kill some of the tanks. God damn. The soldiers, they move in, set up more spider mines. Now, thankfully, it looks like these spider mines aren't being triggered on the workers, thankfully. So RotterdaM is still trying to maintain himself. He's building up his Wind Rider count. Once again, trying to bait out the spider mines as best he can. Jesus, but there are just so many Goliaths. Oh my god. The ramp is a little bit congested, a little bit. Oh god. And with all these Goliaths and Wind Riders, they cannot quite break through. We got a Radiate on the way, let's go. Taking up into a Radiate. RotterdaM just being pinned back. Oh. Okay, now 2 of those Goliaths. Again, I believe that effect that you're seeing there is a poison effect that now they have, as it was just researched. It was just researched, but there we go. Goliath just started to step in. And XiaoSe has had enough. He does commit. And alas, RotterdaM just doesn't really have much left to work with. He's down to 3 Wind Riders. He has the one Farseer. He can chain lightning, of course, but even then, one hero is not going to be enough. Not against this massive amount of army. XiaoSe, he will overwhelm. He breaks through. The Farseer, the hero, is the only unit left. GG gets called, and RotterdaM, he will tap out, and XiaoSe takes the game. Oh, GG. GG, well played. XiaoSe, he will tie things up 1-1. Again, we don't often get to see the orc race here, and unfortunately we saw that there was no easy way to deal with the spider mines. Usually there are ideally some cheaper units you can use to just tank those shots, but in general you're quite limited here. The best, I think best case scenario for RotterdaM was maybe to use those the feral spirits, right? To use those feral spirits to try to bait out those spider mines, but even then they were quite fragile. They were quite fragile, didn't have a lot of HP, so it was brutal. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Now, unfortunately, it looks like there was an ace match here between these two players, but I do not have that match. Do not have that map. It looks like maybe the casters did actually switch to another series or something along those lines, or maybe there was a forfeit, but game 3 was not played out, or at least I don't have the replay for game 3, unfortunately. But in the end, XiaoSe did claim the series. Orc has no cheap units. Best alternative he had was the Polar Boys. Yeah, that would be the best alternative, but as you saw, the workers don't trigger the spider mines. I believe, like, the spider mines, they were within range of the mineral line, and they were being triggered on the peons. So that's because I was thinking that as well. I was like, oh, maybe we can like pull a couple of stray workers here and there to try to bait them out, but I don't think that would quite work out, unfortunately. So really rough, really rough there, really rough. Regardless, XiaoSe, he will take the series. Again, I don't have the ace match, but XiaoSe does take it, and XiaoSe, he will advance on into the next round where he's going to be facing off against young Yako. Let's go, the SC2 Zerg player.